Hello everybody, Rob from Revelation Rain, and I'm continuing this series of some of the new merchandise that we have available just for you. Now, Revelation Rain, we have been inactive for about 2 years or more. In other words, the band broke up. that's that's the simple way of putting it. Unfortunately, but just through a series of events, the band came to an end. But in the time that we were together, we made magic. We made great music. We put on some great shows, and we put out some great records. And if you go back and watch the other videos in this series, you'll see where I talk about the first album, the second album, the second and a half album, and a CD single that we put out recently. Today I want to talk about a couple of DVDs that are now available, and I'll do both of them in the same video. But here it is, Revelation Rain On Stage Volume 1. All right, so here you go. It is available. I'll put a link in the comments, both of these DVDs. This is On Stage Volume 1. We wanted for a long time to put a DVD out. And now with all of the resources available, it's a lot easier to do and a lot less expensive to do it now. Our goal was to put a DVD out once the second record had been released, and it was going to be like a historical type DVD. Now, we didn't have a whole lot of history at that point, but the goal was at some point to put out a DVD that would kind of chronicle the history of the band up to that point. And we had enough material that we could have done it. There was a lot to go into, and I really wish that we would have been able to do that, but we didn't. We did film some music videos, and of course there's by the way, go to our YouTube channel, Revelation Rain. There's also a Facebook page for Revelation Rain. But if you go to the YouTube channel, there's clips from shows, there's entire shows, interviews that we've done, etc. A lot of good stuff there. So make sure you check that out. But this DVD, this one, On Stage Volume 1, the main focus, the main event, so to speak, of this is a show that we did in Jackson, Michigan, at the Music Box, right? Yes, Music Box. I think it's the first time that we'd played there. I think we ended up doing 2 or 3 shows there, and I think this was the first time that we played a show there. So it's live. It's right off the recording as it happened that night. There's no going back and fixing anything or overdubs or anything like that. If there was a mistake, it's there. If somebody missed a lyric, it's there. It's all 100% live. But it was a great show. We, of course, were out of Grand Rapids. To go to Jackson wasn't a real far drive, but lengthy enough to where it was a commitment. It was a big commitment. And we took the whole show. We took everything that we had at that point. And at this point, when you watch this DVD, we're still pretty early in our existence. So the stage show is good, but it's not what it would eventually become. All right. We were constantly adding more and more stuff, but all of the outfits are there. You can see we were a very visually oriented band, being fans of groups like Kiss, Motley Crue, etc. The image was very, very important to us. So the entire show is there. I believe Marty set up 3 or 4 cameras, so you're getting all these different angles. He edited the video, by the way. Marty did the recording and the editing. He did a fantastic job. So you're getting the zoom in, the zoom out, the different perspectives. He mixed the sound, so like I said, it was right off the cameras. But he did a great job of triangulating and getting a good sound for what we were doing. I believe it was an hour and a half or 2-hour set that we played. I think we did just about every song off the first and second album. I think there may have been 2 or 3 songs that we didn't do. But you're gonna hear the show as it was, see the show as it was, right here. Now there's some added footage on here as well. These DVDs turned out perfectly, and I can't remember the name of the company that I did this through. It'll be in the link in the comments. but I put the DVD together myself on my computer and then mixed it and put it on an actual DVD, and then burned the DVD to their website, and then they took that and formatted for me, and put it together as I directed them to, and they did a great job. So the additional footage on there, I think there's I don't remember volume 1 from volume 2, but there's clips from a couple of other shows as well on this one right here. And I think it's either this one or the second one. There's an interview that we did with Aaron Kroll from Studio Talk. So this one here, On Stage Volume 2, again, beautifully packaged. The main event from this is a show that we did at Diesel in the Detroit area. I think it's actually, oh gosh, I can't remember the actual town now. It starts with a W, I think. Anyway, the Detroit area, New Baltimore. Where did I get a W from? I think it was New Baltimore. Anyway, the Detroit area, Michigan, at a place called Diesel. And it was, I wouldn't say a festival, but it was like a 3 or 4 band show. I think we went on second. And this show is with Tyler, our lead guitarist who replaced JT when JT could no longer be in the band. It turned out really, really well. By that point, we had worked our stage show up pretty much to where, I wouldn't say it was at its peak, because I think it got even better after that, but this was pretty close to that point. We had incorporated the fog, the lasers, and the confetti cannon had made its appearance by this point during We Are the Night. I think we did a 5 or 6 song set, and it went over well. It was a good turnout, good crowd. I believe Marty filmed this one as well. This one, though, was just one camera, wide shot of the stage, but it turned out really, really, really well. Now, I don't like to compare because everybody has whatever. There's a difference, though, between lead guitarists. Speaking of lead guitarists, JT had a different style than what Tyler did. JT, I think, was much more aggressive. Tyler had more of a melodic. And not to say that they couldn't, do the other. They could. They could do everything. I'm just saying what their emphasis seemed to be, at least for my ears. The other advantage, obviously, to having JT was that JT actually sang lead and backing vocals. We really struggled with getting Tyler to chime in, even on backing vocals. There's no way, I don't think he would ever have even contemplated doing a lead vocal. But it got to the point where there were no backing vocals other than Marty. And that's not really backing vocals, that's a backing vocal. So I ended up buying this vocal processor. And when Marty would step on a pedal and would sing the backing vocals, it would sound like there were 2 or 3 people singing with him. So you can call that trickery or cheating or whatever, but the fact of the matter is we had a microphone there for Tyler. He just never utilized it, not adequately anyway. And it left a big hole in our sound. It really did. And again, that's not to pick on Tyler or to say he was horrible or anything like that. Tyler brought some great guitar playing. He was a good songwriter. He did a lot for our merch. He was good at graphic design. So he brought a lot of good stuff to the band as well. And I have no complaints about Tyler. I'm just stating the fact that with JT, we had a songwriter and great guitar playing, but we also had somebody that could sing lead and backing vocals. And when JT had to leave, it was not easy. It took us a long while to be able to find someone that could fill that place, that spot. And Tyler was able to do it, but there was still that hole vocally. But that's okay. So you'll hear that, is what I'm saying, between these shows. On this show that we did at the Music Box, there's backing vocals, because all 3 of us up front are singing lead and backing vocals. Even Grant chimes in on backing vocals at times. But this one here at the Diesel, For whatever reason, I don't think we could mic Grant for vocals. So it's just Marty and I singing. And so the backing vocals, they're not quite there. You'll hear, the augmented backing vocals through that vocal processor that Marty's using. But hey, it is what it is. The show went over well, and everybody enjoyed it, and I have no complaints. I think, and there's some bonus features on here as well, clips from some shows that we did, live streams, and I think the interview with Aaron Kroll is on one of those discs, but also one in particular I wanted to mention because it was so odd. When 2020 hit, we were still doing live shows, but things had slowed down because of the shutdown or whatever else. So we were doing live streams as well as everyone else was. And we were approached by this Dr. A.J. Shaw was his name. And he did like this holistic practice. Okay, it was a holistic, alternatives to your pharmaceuticals. I won't go into that. But anyway, but it was just so odd. Like, why does this doctor want us to play a live stream? And on what platform? What is he doing? Well, every so often, I guess, he would put together this live stream. People would tune into his live stream. He would talk for a little bit about, holistic healings and whatever else. And then he'd have some bands play. Or a band. He'd have one band each time. And I guess they had done this 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. I don't know, whatever it was. So we were approached to do it, and I was like, okay, we'll play anytime, any place, anywhere. We just want to get the music out there. So I told the guys, I said, well, we're doing this live stream for Dr. A.J. Shaw. And they're like, what? So I had explained it to them, and they're kind of scratching their head the way I was. But we played it. It went really well. And I remember we got to the end of the set, and I was about ready to, to cut off because I thought the live stream was over. Well, the lady that was running the live stream for Dr. A.J. Shaw said, can you guys keep going? Do you got more songs? Keep going. I'm like, yeah, we can do that. I thought, the time was up. She goes, we're going to keep going. This is the largest turnout we've ever had. I was like, whoa, nice. So that was a compliment. That was awesome. I guess we did more than twice what the previous best band had done. So kudos to us. All right, I'm going to pat myself and my band on the back a little bit there. But that is on here as well. The sound isn't the greatest on some of these. I worked with what we had. The live streams were being recorded right off my laptop, so the sound isn't the greatest. Not just that one, but some of the other live streams that we did were recorded either off a laptop or Marty had a good camera. They had good sound, but we were in a basement, a rehearsal spot. That's where we rehearsed, was in a basement. The acoustics weren't the greatest. It would kind of bounce a lot. So the sound quality isn't the greatest, but it's not horrible either. But, with what we had, that's what I worked with. And these turned out great. Again, the link will be in the comments. If you're interested, order it. Order them. They're not expensive at all. And I think you'll really enjoy them. And they are different, by the way, different than what's on the YouTube channel. Not a lot different, but I made changes so that it's not the same thing that you can get for free on YouTube. And I added, like I said, the bonus stuff on there to make it worth your while. I think you can get these for like $10 each, if I remember correctly. So if you get a chance, go online, follow the link, and get yourself some Revelation Rain DVDs. All right, guys, you take care, and God bless.